So obviously, as you say, you've made the move from that. You're in the digital space now. Uh, was there a reason behind actually sort of did you leave the army to join digital marketing to start your agency, or was it a byproduct of already leaving the army and coming into what we in Britain call civvy street when you leave the military?
Yeah, so for me, we call it ETS, estimated time of service ending.
Mhm.
So during that time, my main focus was I'm gonna go to college, stay out here in Germany, attend college, and I need to find a job.
Mhm.
Not required. I'm doing fine. Like without the SSMA that I built, I was doing fine. But I was just thinking, hey, I have this extra free time. I have these skills. How can I make this work for me?
Mhm.
And so I've done all kinds of jobs throughout the army. Like when you're an interrogator or we call it MOSs or jobs,
Yeah.
you do literally everything. Like you become like a gunnery sergeant, whether you're a sergeant or not. You become an expert at being a janitor because everybody's cleaning, and a mechanic to some extent. Um, but with my job, I just kept thinking, well, they taught me all these communication skills that have really helped me, and we dove deep into psychology and how to, for lack of a better word, manipulate people
Mhm.
into giving us information that we need, or whatever it is that we need, information or sales or whatnot. I kept thinking about that, and I've known this other sergeant that I actually have helped a few times with, like he has his own digital marketing agency.
Cool.
We just had conversations where he brought up the word white labeling. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And he's like, basically like, I have this client, you do work for them. Or you do the work for me, and I take credit. And he was just saying, hey, do you want some extra cash on the weekends? You go with Photoshop. I'll teach you some copywriting skills. And I was like, yeah, I'll help you out. Didn't think much of it. I made a couple $100. Like it was nice, but I was in the army at that time, so I didn't really need it.
Yeah.
But it was nice because I was already living in Germany, and every weekend we were partying like crazy. So $200 extra on one weekend to go to Prague the next one and blow it out was very nice.
Yeah.
Um, but so I was trying to formulate a plan. Like, okay, how can I use these skills, and what do I know that I can do like while I'm living in Germany, but build. My point was I didn't want to pay German taxes. It goes up
Fair.
to 42% here.
Gee.
Yeah, it gets up there. Not that they're not using it right. Like I believe Germany's like as high as it is that you can actually see it work.
Yeah,
And
it's accurate for the economy.
exactly. But I was still like, well, I still have like American citizenship. Why would I do this? So I decided, like, I kept Googling, like, how can I start a business in the States, but run it over here? And I ended up like running into some YouTube channels talking about a social media marketing agency. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. My sergeant, like, I actually helped him out with this. And I got in contact with him, and he gave me some pointers. I asked him like, how easy is this to do? He's like, well, based on what you did and the stuff I gave you and your background, you're gonna do fine. Um, and then my main thing became like, okay, like, so it's sales, like getting clients. How can I use the communication skills to shift it? Because I'm not collecting intel from people. I'm trying to get a client. Like that's the like I need a client.
Mhm.
And but then I needed to shift that to like, okay, if I'm trying to get a client, obviously I'm trying to make business and money, but I can't have these people, although they know they're going into business with me when they go into a meeting, I can't have them thinking like this guy's main point is he just wants a client, he just wants money. Um, so I had to find a way, okay, like how can I use these skills? And it really translated so well to just basically like I do want a client, but if I want this client, I really need to help them.
Yeah.
Like I need to make sure that they're getting their money's worth. And so I made that part of my like main motivation is I'm here to help you out. Like, and I have these skills, and I have like mentors that are right there for me, and this is gonna work. And I just mainly concentrated on depends on every person, because everybody's different, but
Yeah.
concentrating on like, okay, I need to listen to who they are. Like, who is this person? What is their business, of course, but what are their motivations for this business? Like
Mhm.
personally, whether it's intrinsic or like external? And is it things that are tangible, like I just want a big car, a big house, like traveling, or is it things like I want to be able to help my family and help the next generation set them up for success?
Hmm.
And trying to use those things to let them know, like, hey, like working with me is gonna get you to that next level where I can get you the sales you need or the clients you need in order to get you closer to that goal that you have.
Yeah.
And so if it was somebody that would say, "Hey, I've been planning to move to Florida for the last, I don't know, 10 years, but my business has it's right there, but it's not getting there." That I would use that. I would be like, "Hey, like if you're gonna work with me, we're gonna go ahead and get you the clients that you need. We're gonna push you past that threshold. Your business is doing great, but you're not doing anything digitally, and this is gonna get you to your goal." And
Yeah.
just using that as one person might say that's manipulation, but to me, it's just basically speaking to who they are.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a case of like, as you say, these skills are super transferable from what you were doing to what you're doing now. And it is, I suppose, just like, you need to disarm the person. You need to, and it's not dishonesty, it's just disarming them in the case of putting them at ease, making them feel comfortable, and kind of pulling the information that you need from them and then extrapolating that into what you can do for them and what that would then return to them. And I completely understand that. And I can see how that would be such a benefit for you as well, having such a profound experience in it, being in the military, using this for your career essentially for all those them years, and now being able. I assume you've had to tweak it a little bit and kind of adjust how you would go into certain situations based off of the fact that it isn't that original job and it is obviously regular business clients you're going into.
hmm Yeah, for certain. So there's certain things that like I can't even use this word. Let me find the right word to use. There's certain skills that we learn that are they're obviously classified, and so they're classified in the sense that I can't talk about them. So
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I could do some, but then there's others that are like, hey, this is classified. You can't just go around doing X, Y, Z. This is like a federal offense.
Right.
And
So there is
so
rules against using some of the
exactly,
fair. Okay.
yeah. But I'm aware of them, and I make sure I follow all the rules. And my main point is, look, I'm not trying to manipulate people here. I just want them to. I want to show them like, hey, like you hear that saying all the time. People don't invest in businesses; they invest in people.
Exactly.
And so I want it to be that, like, I know I am that guy. How can I communicate it to this person? How
Yeah.
can I communicate it to them like, hey, I am the right choice for you?
Hmm.
And so I made sure that I was the person that they're investing in. And I've
Okay.
had examples like 2 weeks ago where I had a full conversation. We never even hit the business. Like we just kept talking and just BSing and talking about life. By the end of it, she just told me like, I really want to work with you. So like, I really want to start in 2 weeks. Like, what do we need to make it happen? And I told her like, well, this is great, but can I at least tell you what I can offer for you? Because and she was like, you give me the great vibe. Like this, you're the type of person I want to work with. But yes, show me. And I was like, oh, I understand what you're saying, and I'm so happy. But I really want to show you
I
what I
need to,
can do
yeah.
for you. Exactly. Because I don't want you to just throw money at me because you like me. Like let me work for you as well.
Nice.
But yeah, it's definitely worked out great. Like you said, I've tweaked it. Can do certain things. I don't want to anyways. They're illegal, but it's fine. It's not necessary.
Nice. And I mean, I suppose it is actually probably somewhat a benefit to the clients that you work with as well, because you can obviously, I assume, apply these same skills to breaking down profiles of audiences and how you're going to target for that brand. And I think that is also a very good value point and a good selling point for yourself that, again, that experience and you can put that forward into benefiting their company. And as you said, it's about connecting with the person, finding out what's their goal, what's their ambition, what drives them, and then just being able to facilitate that through your service and through your passion and your skill set that you currently have.
Yeah, certainly. So like with that, like targeting the audience, the correct audience. Like I used to build like or help build targeting packets for specific people we needed to talk to,
Hmm.
a dossier, if you
Yeah.
will. Now I use the same skills, same kind of questioning, like from my clients, and I'm able to. It's pretty quickly to figure out like, okay, this is your target audience. And sometimes they know, they're aware of it. But I've had a couple where they're like, I really didn't know I could get this detailed. I had no idea that this was my audience. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you answer the questions for me yourself. Like, I didn't make this up. And they're like, yeah, it is mostly females in their 30s that are going through a transitional phase in their life, and they live in a certain area. And they were like, I never thought of that. I'm like, that's why I'm here.